Hello, my name is Alex. I'm a patchwork nerd and I just made a homemade hot chai tea latte for the first time ever, and this might be true love. Don't judge me. A while back on Twitter, I was talking with a bunch of writers and we all seemed to be running into a very similar problem, not knowing what to do when you have no ideas for what to write. And it's really an odd coincidence because around the time that I started brainstorming the script for this discussion, one of my favorite YouTubers, Bailey J, made a very similar video discussing this. The difference is she's an artist, so she did 6 things to try when you don't know what to draw. And in this case, I am going to borrow her idea but apply it to 6 things to try when you don't know what to write. So let's get started. But first, tea. The first thing to try, make a Pinterest board. I know it might seem like a very cliched and predictable thing to do, but there's a lot of people that aren't familiar with Pinterest. And if you haven't been on that social media before, it allows you to organize pictures into boards so you have inspiration for the different things you're working on. It can be for crafting projects, it can be for art projects, it can be for design, or in this case, for writing. Find images that bring out ideas, make you excited. If you're completely stuck on what kind of story to write, just start making a board that interests you or fits a genre that you like, and see what ideas form from all of the images you collect together. Go wild with it. There are so many opportunities and beautiful visuals for you to take advantage of. Or if you want to try something really simple, pick a picture off of Pinterest and just describe it in as much detail as possible. It's super fun, it's super easy, and hopefully it'll generate some ideas. Idea number 2. Read in your genre. You've heard it time and time and time again, but there is a reason why people say this to you constantly. If you want to get good in a certain genre, read other stories in your genre. There are so many tips and tricks that are waiting for you if you just look. Don't just read the book for fun. Study it. Look at how the descriptions are written, how the characters are written. Because if you read a fantasy versus a horror, or a science fiction versus a young adult contemporary, there is a very distinct style and path that you can follow. Yes, it is very intimidating reading nice, polished, pretty books in your genre because it makes you feel like what you're writing is complete and utter crap. But that started out as crap too. You have to understand, your writing still needs to be polished and pretty, but that can't happen until you actually write. So read in your genre, study, just go crazy with it and take notes. Take so many notes. And if you run into a word that you don't know, look it up in the dictionary and write it down because it helps reaffirm it in your brain. I started doing that a long time ago and I am so glad I did. Step number 3, make a favorites list. When I'm really stuck for what to write about, I make a list of things that I like to see in stories, I like to write about in stories, or things that just make me excited in general. For example, I like the word pearl. I think it's pretty. It's just a nice, pleasant word to say. So I might end up adding an element to my story that involves a pearl necklace, or a pearl in a clam, or pearls in somebody's teacup and then they choke and die. Who knows? Long story short, make a list of words and ideas and phrases that interest you and that you just like, and see if you can build a story off of it. Step number 4. Look for writing prompts. There are so many writing prompts out there. You can find them on Pinterest, you can find them just by doing a Google image search, you can find them on author websites, or you can even find them on Twitter and Instagram. Just search and look for different suggestions that other authors are making for good jumping off points. This is a great way to get brainstorming going and get some really cool ideas started. I have so many short stories that started out as just a simple prompt, and now they're full, living, breathing, slightly terrifying stories, and it's awesome. Idea number 5, write a Twitter story. No, I'm not talking about going and tweeting and counting that as writing. And no, I'm not talking about writing a story about tweeting, but you're more than welcome to do that if that tickles your fancy. I'm talking about something a little more unique. It's no secret that I adore Twitter. I host a writing chat on Twitter. I'm on Twitter more than any other social media, although Instagram is starting to move forward in the race. But that's beside the point. The point is, I love Twitter and I have found a really cool way to use it for my writing. One of the commonly known features of Twitter is you only have 140 characters to get your point across, and then you're cut off. What I do is I try to write a story or a single idea using only as many characters as Twitter will allow me to use. This is great for me because I tend to be a very florally writer. I like bells and whistles and strings and kazoos and party horns, and Twitter forces me to boil that down and simplify and only have one party horn and only have one kazoo and maybe throw in some glitter. It helps me get my ish together and keep things tight and concise. Take an idea, take a sentence, take a basic concept, stick it on Twitter, and see if you can use 140 characters to make some magic. And finally, we come to our last tip to try when you don't know what to write, and that's take a nap. No, I'm serious. Stop laughing. No, don't you click away. Don't you click away. Let me explain myself first. Give me a chance. When I lie down to take a nap, I just lightly try to think about either the story I'm trying to write or things that I enjoy or just writing in general. As I start falling asleep, my ideas and dreams start blending together, and then a lot of times questions or problems that I was having with particular scenes or just where to go next, all of a sudden it kind of comes to me. You also have to keep your mind active while at the same time still falling asleep, so it's a very difficult balance, so don't feel self-conscious if it takes you a while to get this right. I've been playing this game since I was 6 years old, where I would blend something I liked, like a cartoon or television show, with dreams, and then I'd end up with kind of like a fan fiction with me inserted into the story, so it takes practice. And that concludes 6 things to try when you don't know what to write. I will link you down below to Bailey J's original video. I still don't know what to do for this outro thingy majiggy, so if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that happy little subscribe button down below. I post new videos on Sunday. If you have any ideas for what I should do for my outro, leave it in a comment down below. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to tweet me at PatchworkNerd. I will see you guys next time, and toodles! Also, fun fact, I chug-a-lugged this cup. This whole thing was full, and now I'm feeling the sugar rush. That's gonna be great for my ADD.